Nice view, right? Sorry to spoil this amazing scenic view at a specific tennis academy that I'll tell you about in a bit, with this face that, as Andrew has said, a face that is fit for radio talk. So thanks, Andrew, it means a lot. But I know it's been a while since I made a video like this. I've been very busy with my full-time job, along with the commute from Milwaukee to Chicago 3 days a week, which is insane, and 2 product releases for my company that I've been spearheading as kind of a impromptu tech lead in the technology side of things. But enough of that. Let's talk about some tips, specifically 10 tips for you guys, specifically for choosing a tennis academy as an adult and possibly even as a junior for about, 5 to 6, maybe even 7 days. So let's talk about some things. Now keep in mind that I have done, including this trip, that's going to be about 4 trips. I did Nukes in near Fort Worth, Texas, in the US, and then I also did the Rafa Nadal Academy. I think last year or 2 years ago. Time flies by pretty quickly. And also the Vilas Tennis Academy in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. And those range anywhere from, I'm just talking just the price of the academy with board and everything, not necessarily flights, anywhere from $400 to almost $2,000. So there's a wide variety of experiences that I've had in terms of budget, and also as terms of traveling and experience inside the academy as an adult. So I feel like this is a pretty good video to share while you guys are hopefully planning your next either cross-country or international trip when it comes to a tennis clinic or a tennis academy of whatever sorts you guys are choosing for. Landed around 7:45 and Adolfo Suarez Airport in Madrid, which is by far the biggest airport in Spain, is actually the 5th largest / busiest airport in all of Europe. So it not only is it busy, it's also quite large. The terminal that I arrived at, there's a 5-minute trolley which goes pretty freaking fast to the actual exit, where I am right now. I'm waiting for my first favorite moderator from Discord, link down in the description below, because it's going to be me and him hanging out not only in Madrid but to a certain tennis academy that I'll tell you guys in a little bit, also in Spain, that I've never visited before. So that's going to be really fun. But do me a favor, leave a comment down in the section below and guess which of the 6 or 7 moderators is my favorite, because he's the one that I got him to come over here, so we'll see. So I'm just waiting for him. He arrived about an hour after I did, so just waiting at the exit here while these locals are getting coffee and starting their day. Well, let's talk about the first tip. Be flexible and also plan things ahead of time. Originally, this tennis trip that I'm on right now was supposed to be with 3 people, myself, Andrew, and Miranda. Unfortunately, Miranda backed out last minute because I think she tweaked her ankle, but she gave us plenty of notice, and fortunately her security deposit can be attributed to a future visit to this specific tennis academy. Now obviously, I wish there was more the merrier, that'd be great, so I only have Andrew to accompany me with. So be flexible. People will always say they verbally commit, and people will always back out last minute due to unforeseen circumstances like medical stuff, family stuff, just last minute unavoidable things. But be flexible, have fun, and just make sure you trust the people you go with. So we'll get you on the next one, Miranda. Tip number 2. This is actually a good one to save you guys about 5 to 10% of your budget. Convert your local currency to the currency of the destination at your local financial institution. For example, I unfortunately bank with PNC Bank. I hate them, but I also am kind of married to them in a way because I've been using them for a long time. Comment on your financial institution. I hate these guys. But when I converted to kind of like a check and go place in Madrid, Spain, which is the city that me and Dares visited a few days before we went to the specific academy, it was a 9 to 10 conversion rate. So I gave them 1,000 USD and they gave me 900 euro. But I think if I did that at my local branch of PNC and I gave them plenty of notice for this conversion from US dollars to euro, they actually wouldn't have charged me a fee, which is actually surprising because yes, it is PNC. but I think I lost about $50 on that transaction. I mean, depending on when you look up the USD to Euro exchange. So plenty of time to get your guys' local currency if you guys call into your local branch, and hopefully get a free conversion. But obviously, it depends on the financial institution. All right, finally in Madrid. 25 minutes without traffic from the airport, 40 minutes with traffic. Darius, what do you think of it so far?
Pretty nice.
We're staying at the Talk Hostel. See what it's like. Number 3, don't just go for the tennis academy. I mean, if you're already traveling intercontinental or, you know, across your country, might as well take a few days off as well, because you're already planning. Visit a local touristy city. For us, me and Darius did Madrid. And I've never been to Madrid before other than a layover from La Palma. Mwah. Absolutely love it. Another tip. When it comes to carrying your tennis rackets, I was debating on 3, but I ended up bringing on 2. Don't do check-ins, because check-ins, I've had so many people tell me nightmare check-ins, specifically with Swoop, which no longer is an airline in Canada, thank God. Shout out to Alex and Ryan for that. Carry on as much as you can, especially if you're able to travel light like me and Darius. But when it comes to the 2 or 3 tennis rackets you're bring them on. Do not put them in a backpack. Do not put them in your in any bag. Just take a rubber band and tie the 2 to 3 rackets together and stuff it in the overhead compartment along with your carry-on, while you take your backpack, which has more, you know, personal clothing, toiletries, and expensive electronics like the cameras, my drone that I'll be using for this B-roll footage in this academy. Put that backpack with the expensive stuff under your seat, and then stuff the overhead bin with your carry-on luggage and also your tennis rackets. And even if you do get caught, as I always say, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. And that's gonna save you a few bucks and possibly some nightmare of having the airline, which does happen, having the airline lose all your stuff, which unfortunately is a reality in this day and age. Tip number 5. I know that it's almost like a taboo word based on a few movies that came out in the mid-2000s, directed by Eli Roth, but hostels are fantastic. Do a hostel, don't do a hotel. It's cheaper, you get to meet new people. It's like, I think me and Dare saved, I think 50% from a hotel to a nice hostel, literally in the middle of the Madrid. In fact, here's the hostel, which was called Toc, within walking distance, literally a block and a half of Plaza Mayor. It's a bit rainy here today. Just woke up. Me and Dare slept for about 12 hours because of jet lag and alcohol. But let me show you the hostel we're staying at. We wanted to do a hotel, but hostels can't beat the experience, right? And it's cheaper too. This is Toc Hostel Madrid. We're over here on the right in the first floor, thankfully. There's my boy. Hey. So we have 4 beds here. Andrew, theirs is on this one. The gentleman is on this one. He left earlier this morning. Another gentleman, Hensel, is on top of here. And I'm on number 2 here. So obviously it's definitely more like a dorm style. And we each have our own lockers for safekeeping. So heading to the convenience store to buy some flip-flops so we don't get athlete's foot, along with some shampoo and conditioner. So it's a good start to a Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock when we just woke up 30 minutes ago. Tip number 6, when it comes to European cities, and I would even argue a lot of the South and Central Americans, just not American cities because we don't do that, you're gonna be walking everywhere. So don't just bring your tennis shoes, bring a very, very comfy pair, but not new, a comfy pair of walking shoes that is not tennis related. For me, I brought my On shoes, love it, made walking the 2 to 5 miles we did in Madrid a lot easier. Have you ever seen a European major city street? They look like this. Tip number 7. Obvious one, but some of you guys fall in this tourist trap. Eat and drink local food. Now, obviously, there's like chain restaurants like Taco Bell, which is fantastic, by the way. There's even a Jollibee, a Filipino chain in Madrid for some reason. Obviously, there's Burger King, and for some reason, KFC, several KFC chains, and even Starbucks in Madrid. And there are restaurants out there that look local, but they're really not. So ask the locals. Even the front desk people at the hotel or hostel, they're very friendly. They know where to point you to. You want to eat like the local, you want to drink like the local while you're there, right? And you could get these cheap touristy knockoffs anywhere or chain anywhere, but I mean, you're already there. Might as well experience what it's really like. So tip number 7, eat and drink locally in absolute excess. Have you guys seen authentic paella before? Well, have you seen a paloma before or Spanish beer? Well, here's what it looks like. Cheers. So Dares and I decided that we wanted to get some of the best paella in Madrid, Spain. So we just Googled, and keep in mind, this is a Friday night, right? So things get busy. Friday night, we just Googled like the highest rated paella place in Madrid within walking distance. We're in La Mi Venta, which means my window, or more specifically, my window. We're excited to see what this paella is, and along with this amazing red wine we have. I may or may not be drunk at this point, but cheers. For the paella. Yeah?
You got in here too. All right.
We just have one in.
Let me pick it up.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Looking good.
Right? Yeah, that's one.
Okay, perfect.
So I'm gonna split that.
So, it's, Jesus Christ, it's still light outside. It's weird. It's 6 o'clock local. Sun's still way up, as you can see by the natural lighting. Dares decided to get an espresso from this local joint I'd never heard of called Starbucks. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Starbucks. Must be a Spanish barista. Out of all the places, he decides to go to Starbucks. Come on, Dares. Starbucks? Is this a local Spanish joint?
Yeah, actually. Believe it or not.
What's up? By the way, this sangria, how many pints? Is this a pint?
I think it's a pint, but
Not a pint.
But there's ice in it. There's a ton
Yeah,
of
but
ice
still.
in it. But
€2
Yeah.
each.
In-
This is $4.
in this too.
$2.
Yeah.
And no tip because it's Europe. So, cheers.
Cheers. One of those is for me too, by the way.
Yeah. This
€5.
€5 for what?
€5.
€5 for
2 beers.
two beers.
Let's go. Cheers.
Fuck you, Dr. Seuss. Greetings and ham. We got nothing on this. Cheers. Mr. Rose. Numero 8. Do research. As I said earlier in this video, I have done enough academies as an adult, anywhere from 2 to 3 days at Nukes to, you know, the 6 days at Punta Cana, which is fantastic, and also the 6 days at Rafa Nadal. And obviously the price varies quite a bit, anywhere from I think like $450 to upwards to like $2,000 to $5,000, depending on if you count souvenirs and everything else into the academy payment or the travel costs. Just fall within your budget. Find something that's awesome. Like, do research. You guys have access to the internet, otherwise how can you see this video? Do research. Ask the people you want to travel with where they want to go to, what countries they want to see, what sites they want to see, what local cities near the academy they want to stay for a few nights. And obviously I fell in love with Spain, which is why I chose the Spanish Tennis Academy again, because it's fantastic. I fell in love with the language, I fell in love with the touristy, the locals. I eventually want to move to Spain eventually, just because of the culture, if not even for the language itself and learning it. So just do your research. It's not that hard with 2 to 3 hours online. And if you guys have any questions on any of the academies that I didn't explain on the video, or an academy I haven't visited yet, join my Discord. Plenty of people have done academies I haven't done yet. Tip number 9. I personally have no problem traveling alone. In fact, even if you're with a group of people, there's always pros to traveling alone from my point of view versus traveling in a small group or big group. But when you go to one of these tennis academies or resorts or whatever, and you're by yourself, or you just want to expand your friend group with compared to the people you came with, talk to people. You already guys have one thing in common, right? You love tennis. Make friends. I know it seems trivial, like you're on your first or second day of kindergarten, but make some friends while you're at it. Can never hurt anybody. For example, in the Rafa Nadal Academy, I started befriending 2 individuals, a finance guy from New York, and then also a French guy that spoke really good English and also Spanish and obviously French. And they were both around the mid 4.0 level, so they could hit with me. And that was the Rafa Nadal Academy, and I went there solo. So I still keep in touch with them every now and then up until this day. And then as for today, or specifically this trip at Juan Carlos Ferrero, which is where I am. Sorry to spoil it. We met up with Franco, an Italian guy that's living in Madrid, Spain, and just loves tennis as well. Shout out to Franco. Last tip. This is the most simple, but with all these crazy things that are just going through your head during these tennis vacations, tennis academy clinics, hitting sessions, whatever, have fun. It's a lifetime sport. Lifetime sport that deserves plenty of love for yourself and those around you and everywhere you go. As always, guys, because I can't clap because I'm holding my GoPro, happy hitting.